The Dodgers have made the playoffs 12 years in a row, winning the NL West 11 of those 12 times, and the World Series twice in that span, one of those in an actual 162-game season. But what if I told you the Dodgers dynasty is just getting started? And it's not just because they own Shohei Ohtani for the next 9 years, although that does play a part, but not for the reasons you might think. Billy Beane once said in Moneyball that baseball is an unfair game. And it is. It used to be unfair because there were rich teams and there were poor teams. But now it's about to become even more unbalanced because there are popular teams and unpopular teams. Here's an example of what appeared like an insignificant move by the Dodgers recently that could have colossal implications at basically zero cost. Remember when the Dodgers signed Hye-Seong Kim for $12.5 million over 3 years? That also came with options and bonuses that could max out at $22 million over 5 years. Now, there's a ton to dissect about this deal that gives the Dodgers an advantage, and one that could perpetuate over the next few decades. First off, Kim took this deal with the Dodgers when he could have reportedly received $28 million guaranteed by the Angels, and that's to live in the same city with a starting job available in their infield. The offer by the Angels offered more than double the guaranteed money the Dodgers offered. So why did Kim sign with the Dodgers instead of the Angels, especially since he'd be living in the same city anyways? The most obvious reason, although likely not the only reason, is the fact that the Dodgers are the reigning World Series champs and probably favorites to win many more in the near future. Obviously, right? But let's dive into a few other factors. In Kim's case, he grew up as a Dodgers fan. But why do you think that was? When Kim was 14, 15 years old, in fact, through his entire high school enrollment as a top-tier baseball talent, he would have spent a lot of spring, summer, and fall mornings and afternoons watching Hyunjin Ryu pitch for the LA Dodgers, one of the only Major League Baseball teams he would have had access to watching because a top Korean player was on the team and they had the games broadcast in Korea. He said as much at a news conference in Korea, saying, "I was really familiar with the team because I've watched so much Dodgers baseball over the years with Park Chan-ho and Ryu Hyun-jin having played there." This laid the foundation for a generation of young kids dreaming of playing for the Dodgers one day, just like Ryu Hyun-jin for them and just like Chan-ho Park for their fathers a generation before that. That's right, this goes all the way back to the 90s, when the Dodgers featured the five-nation rotation, which included the American, Kevin Brown, the Mexican, Ishmael Valdez, Ramon Martinez, the Dominican, Chan-ho Park, the Korean, and Hideo Nomo, the Japanese. Korean and Japanese prospects may have their heroes from their domestic leagues, but they've also been advertised to by major league teams who fielded some of their favorite players growing up. The Dodgers were among the pioneers to tap into the Asian market for talent, and now that talent has helped grow a future pool of talent that has now matured, and now the Dodgers are reaping the benefits of what they sowed years ago. They became a brand that Asians can identify with, a team that accepts and treats Asian athletes with respect on top of being in a city with a high Asian population for maximum comfort of being a home away from home, and also one that is physically closer to home when it comes to making trips back in the off-season or for personal emergencies, and with an airport that has direct flights to Asia, unlike let's say Milwaukee or Kansas City. Anyways, you can see the allure of why Koreans and Japanese players might want to play for the Dodgers. But what's the big deal? I mean, the best players are American or Latin American anyway, right? Well, okay, let's just say that actually were the case. For one team to have a talent pool cornered is quite powerful, especially with that market producing more and more top talents. Oh, Tony, let's go back to that Hye-Seong Kim signing and show you an angle you may not have caught initially. The money LA will pay Kim is slightly more than they would have paid Gavin Lux. But Lux is also entering the final year of arbitration and could make a lot more money next year, and then he would become an unrestricted free agent. Whereas the Dodgers have Kim for as long as 5 years at just $22 million. That's barely over $4 million a year, which is under the league's $5 million average salary currently. Now, you might say, but Gavin Lux is a better player than Kim. Lux certainly has more experience at the major league level, but it's safe to say Kim will be a far better defender, and he should actually be in the running for a Gold Glove. Lux might have provided more power, as he can be expected to hit 10 home runs as a floor, whereas that's probably a ceiling for Kim. But here's the thing. Lux would be a bottom 3 bat for LA anyways, and with a bottom 3 hitter, would you rather have him have a higher ceiling for home runs, or would you prefer him to be a Gold Glove defender with 20 to 30 stolen base potential? Especially on a team like the Dodgers that will score a lot of runs at the top of their order anyways. Kim is simply a better fit for the Dodgers, and even if he weren't, it wouldn't be by much. So here's where things get really interesting. LA's ability to sign Kim allowed them to trade away Lux and receive, albeit a Hail Mary prospect in Mike Sirota, but more importantly, the Dodgers also received Cincinnati's competitive balance round A pick, which should be a top 40 pick in this year's draft. And what's the big deal in that? Well, because it was basically free. Because Hye-Seong Kim signed with the Dodgers for less money than the Angels offered him, because he's locked in on a cheap contract for up to the next 5 years. They were able to move Gavin Lux and actually get something decent in return. And you see, because the Dodgers spend so much money compared to other teams, the only thing the league can do to them is take away their draft picks, like they did for the 2022 draft, where they took away their first-round pick. That was for going over the competitive balance tax in the 21 season. But now, the Dodgers hacked the system to essentially get a free second-round pick while keeping the strength of their team about the same. Some would argue that it's even made them stronger. And here's the thing. When LA has picks, they actually draft well and develop those players and turn them into Clayton Kershaw, Corey Seager, Will Smith, Cody Bellinger, Walker Buehler, Dalton Rushing. The list goes on. In fact, did you know Dodgers players won Rookie of the Year awards 4 straight years from 1979 to 1982? They also won 5 straight Rookie of the Years from 1992 to 1996. The Dodgers easily have won the most Rookie of the Years with 18. The Yankees have the second most with just 10 winners. So, on top of their big payroll, this is not a team you want to see receiving free second-round picks. And this is not going to get any better because the more Asians that are on this Dodgers dynasty is only going to make future generations of top Asian talents 10 to 15 years from now want to play for the team that their heroes Shohei Ohtani or Yoshinobu Yamamoto or Hye-Seong Kim played for. And what happens when you add Roki Sasaki to that mix? Is LAX going to become the landing spot for all future top Asian talents? When you consider that the posting process or free agency upon their arrival allows them to choose their team, usually when they're fully developed players, this is a huge advantage for a team like the Dodgers, one that will allow them to remain a dynasty long after Shohei Ohtani's contract has expired. But what do you think? Is the Asian invasion providing the Dodgers an unfair advantage? Or certainly to teams that have been regular destinations for Asian players? After all, if you were buying a new car, wouldn't you want to buy a brand you've at least heard of or seen a lot of? Teams like the Royals, Brewers, Marlins, who haven't had long-term success with Asians in the past, why would Asians want to play there in the future? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and please like the video and subscribe to the channel so you'll know when I upload my next thought-provoking baseball video.